Hey everybody, say hi to Danny. She's like, girl, I want no parts of this. This is Daenerys Targaryen, first of her name. Okay, we're gonna get rid of her because she's not gonna cling to my sweater. Okay, hey, you was missing for a week. Where was you at? It wasn't me missing. It was you. I know. Let me make sure I don't roll on her tail. I wasn't missing for a week. It was actually you. So where have you been? What have you been doing? Why were you missing? We have so much to catch up on. We don't. We don't have a lot to catch up on. I did choose the world's most annoying top to wear for this video, but that's not why you're here, and that's not why I'm here. So let's get to why we are here, and that is mindsets, right? So I alluded to this in my last video where I said that I recorded a whole video and it would not upload. I couldn't get it to save. I couldn't get it to do anything. And I was really hard on myself. I was really upset about it, even though I had a successful upload afterwards. I just would not let this video go. And so it kind of made me apprehensive to record again because I was scared that I was going to have more issues. And I was thinking, maybe because what I was doing and what I was talking about wasn't what he wanted me to talk about. And so I don't know why I would think that he would like sabotage my video. Goofy thoughts, right? This is why we have to take all thoughts captive, right? So I had to think about Jeremiah 29:11. For I know the thoughts that I think toward you, saith the Lord, thoughts of peace and not of evil, to give you an expected end. I started this channel restarted this channel because I wanted to make sure that anything and everything that I do, I am glorifying and uplifting, right? I'm glorifying Elohim and I'm uplifting other people. I didn't want to do anything negative. I didn't want to talk about celebrities. I didn't just want to do makeup. I feel like you can go anywhere for that. I wanted this to be a place where even if I do talk about makeup or skincare or something like that, that it's always glorifying him. We can have Bible study together or whatever. But I was just so like caught on this one video that I had to remember Romans 8:28. And we know that all things work together for good to them that love God, to them who are the called according to his purpose. I am trying to do something to bring people into the knowledge of Elohim. Even though I was talking about, the pastors flying around in the air from the rafters like Chris Brown, and how the prosperity gospel it has ruined it ruined church. Let's face it. And these people are going to trust these men with their soul salvation and to give them truth, and they're up there telling them, give me money, let me buy a jet and make me rich and make me famous. And I guess there's a little sprinkle of maybe going to heaven or not going to. I don't know what the message is, but I do know that I am not trying to do anything to where the focus is on me. And I guess you can say that I did put the focus on me by focusing more on, me not having a successful upload. And then I guess I did get in the way and try to take the focus off of Elohim. And obviously that's wrong and that's not what I wanted to do, because Philippians 1:6, being confident of this very thing, that he which hath begun a good work in you will perform it until the day of Jesus Christ. I'm not going to always have a successful upload. I'm not going to always do things perfect. Um, I'm just starting out, so I don't have all the equipment that I need or want. And I am just a mere mortal, so I do struggle with, thoughts. And sometimes I don't always take my thoughts captive. So, um, I know that he's working with me and he's in everything that I do. I am trying, and I'm not perfect. You think about David and how he was, supposed to be the new king, and he had to go through some things before he became king. It wasn't like, okay, well, you're going to be king, and so it's just going to happen. Or Joseph, you were having these dreams and you were going to be a big deal in some capacity one day, but it wasn't a shoe in. I mean, he had to be sold into slavery and betrayed by his own brothers in order for his blessing or his prophecy to be fulfilled. And we always think that because we are called or because we have good intentions to do something that it's just going to go smooth, and that's just not how life is. That's just not how life works. Sometimes you're going to go through bumps and bruises, um because maybe your choice, and then sometimes those bumps and bruises are meant to happen along the way for something in the future. I was doing my devotional earlier, and they were talking about the person who wrote it. They were talking about how they have three friends right now that are going through something major in their lives, all health related. And no matter how much they pray, um, things aren't happening the way they think it should happen or when it should happen. They're still sick or whatever. And they used the example of Paul with the thorn in his side and how he prayed three times for Elohim to remove it. And he was like, no. And then you have to realize that thorn, that sickness, that unsuccessful upload, you being on the run before you become king because the current king is after you, or you being sold off into slavery, are all things that could possibly keep you humble in the end, or all things that you will remember the struggle that you came through in order to remember that it wasn't you that brought you to that place that you're in. It was always Elohim, and he did it for his glory. And you being in a humble state will keep you at a place where you can keep the glory for him. You'll understand that the power didn't come from you, that it is a blessing, that it is a gift, but also to show others that no matter what you go through, you can still make it. You can still become successful. You still can do whatever you were meant to do through adversity. Adversity makes you stronger. And so with that being said, um I just want to understand why that pastor was like, it's not even about the pastor, it's really about the people in the church. Like, when you see somebody floating up in the sky on the little ropes, like, does that make you want to listen to them more? Like, does when you sit up in church and you see these pastors with no Bible, quoting no scripture, just going on ad nauseum about their wife's dress, or locking you in the building, does that make you want to come to church the next day? I mean, clearly they do, obviously, but I'm more concerned for the people who are in these churches, because the prosperity gospel is literally against everything that Yahusha was about. So I wish people would stop saying that he hung with thieves and prostitutes, because he didn't. There's not a single time that you see him healing someone or doing something for someone in the word, in the scripture, where he doesn't tell them to go and sin no more. But literally, he tells them to not. And so the only one who didn't convert was the one, who himself, because he betrayed, like, anyway, the point is, I feel sorry for these people because they would rather listen to these men play with them and in their face, pouring syrup and stuff on their Bibles, than to actually read the word and get to know him for themselves. But I'm not judging them. I just feel bad for them. And I caught myself cutting my hair into layers. I wanted a wolf cut. And it turns out that my scary self only ended up giving myself a trim pretty much. But I think I'm gonna end up cutting my bangs somewhere because this is ridiculous. But anyway, I said all that to say it's Wednesday. I want you guys to know it's the middle of the week, and you're doing good. You're doing great. You're doing fine, darling. You're doing wonderful. And it may not look clean and polished. It may not feel high end, and you're trying hard. You know that you are doing everything you can to take care of yourself, your family, and even if all you could do today was just get out of bed. Congrats. I'm happy for you. I love you. And he's going to work on us until the end. I mean, look at Enoch. He lived a long time, and it doesn't say that he lived a perfect 300 and something years. So give yourself some credit, give yourself some grace. That's where I fall short. I don't like to give myself grace for some reason, but give yourself some credit. You doing okay? For real, I really want to know, why are these people hanging from, like, are you about to perform? I just don't understand. Like, what is the point of